Well, hello, lovely ladies. Excuse my voice. I'm a little hoarse and I've been outside every day, working a little bit and not really giving myself enough time to heal before I go back outside into the cold again. So, excuse my voice, but I have a short little message. And so I titled this, Know When It's Time to Focus on You and Not Being Black. And I'm specifically talking about just as a black woman because I'm just going to give an example of me, just a small example. I haven't made videos in a while. Well, I say, maybe 3 weeks because I've had a lot going on in my personal life. And while I have listened to some of the videos and I've enjoyed listening to some of the videos by the people I'm subscribed to, I've had to let go of really being a black woman unless I'm feeling a certain way, I have to check that I'm black. You have to fill out things, you have to check off, what you are. Other than that, I had to I could not really care at that moment of me being a black woman. Now, that's not to say, and I'm trying to say this the best way I can, that's not to say that I have anything against being identified as that. I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is when personal things knock you in the face and you're at a point where you have to handle a situation before it gets out of control. I can't worry about being no black woman. I can't worry about what no man says. I cannot worry about all this stuff that comes along with being a black woman. At that moment, I had to care only about myself, my situation, get myself straight. I'm sure some of you guys understand where I'm coming from when you're in a situation where you have to take care of yourself. You have to become very selfish. That is not a time where you can focus. That is not a time where you really have the leeway, if I'm saying that correctly, to focus on what's really going on with black women because you're at a point in your life where it's do or die. That's what I mean. I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to stop anybody from wanting to be called a black woman. That has nothing to do with that. And 2019, some have realized that we're already in a recession. Well, I don't want to say we, but when I say we, I'm just talking about the United States of America and really around the world. So when I say we, I don't really mean you as an individual or me as an individual because I'm determined not to participate in this. I'm aware of what's going on and I'm going to act accordingly. And this is another reason why it is time for a lot of people who may not have their finances at least 80% together, because at this point it needs to be, you need to have some on point finances. It's time to get some good credit. It's time to get out of debt. It's time to secure a living situation. And so with the recession that's going to happen, that might be compared to that of the depression that happened before I was even born. This is not a good time black identified women to focus on black. And when I'm talking about focus on black, I'm talking about trying to go back and forth with a lot of these black men. I know some of you guys don't, but then again, some black women do. And I'm talking about the ones who are supposed to be divested. They still want to prove themselves to a lot of black men. I cannot prove myself to anybody who has not done anything for me. I just can't do it. But everybody have their own type of mental issues that they deal with. I have my own type of mental issues, and it never involved me trying to explain myself to men that have never provided for me. That is just not something that I have struggled with, even though I have other struggles. So being black right now for black women, on top of you having to get your finances together for this recession that's coming, is too much of a weight on your shoulders. And I am just giving the advice to be very selfish at this point. And when I'm saying be very selfish, let this black stuff go. being a black woman. Just be a person who needs to get yourself together. If you don't really have yourself together like you want to, you might be able to get by, okay, with bills. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, it's time to let the black thing go. Let go of the black woman thing and focus on getting yourself together, because the whole black thing seems to be weighing black women down, okay? This whole black women problems, trying to through the black women, trying to talk about our struggles, it seems to be extra weight on the shoulders of black women, okay? And this is not a time to be trying to concentrate on that for too long, because if you are barely making it, if you are even 2 paychecks away from homelessness, when this recession really hit you in the face, you may be homeless. And I'm so sorry, guys. I'm going to have to stop talking in a minute. But being homeless is not a joke. And I've never lived on a sidewalk or under a bridge. But can you imagine? It's not a joke. And so with this recession about to hit everybody, and it's going to hurt people who really have money. That's why I say it's time for the finances to be on point. I want to give a little credit to other women who on their platforms, they have talked about the age of Trump. One being, I know Kendall St. Charles. I know I've heard Crystalline talk about it. I've heard Successful Ladies Live talk about certain things. I know she talks about a lot of stats. So I'm just giving a little credit to people who have tried to say things, and others as well. Okay, so I don't want to leave anybody out. But I do know for sure, I've heard ladies talk about this age of Trump. This is going to be a class society. It's not going to be about race. It's going to be about class. It's going to be about money. It's going to be about what you could afford. It's going to be about your tax bracket. It's not going to be about race. And that's why I'm saying it's time to let go of this black woman struggle for right now. Now, if you're in a position where you can, keep having those conversations because you're doing so well off, then I say have at it. I don't, if you're out at the business, yeah, I have time to do the extra things. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. But if you are not in a financial position for what is about to happen right now, it's time for black women to probably seek the information that has already been put out there for so long. Okay? Like, what's that lady name? I forget her name, but Zoe Saldana played her in the movie, and a lot of people got upset because she darkened her skin. I forget that lady's name. She's a singer. I hate that I forgot. But she was talking about race in one of her songs and talking about what black people go through. And her message wasn't really getting out to the masses. And somebody asked her, does it bother you that your message doesn't get out like you want it to? And she said, no, because it's up to people to seek out her message. It's not for her. It's not her responsibility to scream through the rooftops to get the information out to people. It's their responsibility to seek liberation. So what I'm saying right now is that the information has been put out there by so many people for black women right now that it is now their responsibility to seek the liberation. And if they cannot believe what they're seeing with their own eyes, then it's nobody else's problem, because right now we are getting to a point where it's time to think about ourselves, not being black, not being a black woman, and not these black women's struggles, okay? The information is out there. If they want liberation, they're going to have to seek it. It's nobody's responsibility to keep trying to reach out to them, to get to the truth to them, to wake them up. Nobody's responsible for waking anybody else up, okay? I've been asleep myself. Now, I haven't been asleep to this black identity and race stuff because that's not how I was raised. But I've been asleep to other things, okay? Trust me, I had to wake up I had to become aware, and I had to take the steps to become better. And they're gonna have to do the same thing, okay? But anyway, like I said, well, another thing where that 111 comes in too, it's about being selfish. This is a time to focus on yourself and not a whole group of people. If you can't really afford to focus on a whole group of people, this is not a time to be focusing on a whole group of people if you don't have yourself together, because y- you can easily be sleeping under a bridge. It's so easy to sleep under a bridge, okay? Excuse my voice. And that's going to be the end of this video, and I'll talk to you soon.